Hello, welcome, and good evening to round 2 of our Mega Grid Winter Series. I hope you all had wonderful Christmas holidays, and we are here at Silverstone, despite what we said last week, because initially the round was planned for Brands Hatch, but because we still have, at the moment, 45 cars on the grid, and I think there were more drivers signed up for the race, which wouldn't have fitted on Brands Hatch, the race to Silverstone. And I am here again with Phil Roberts. Hello, Phil.
Hi, Stewie. Yes, I hope everyone had a nice Christmas and look forward to a new year. Yes, indeed. We had 50, do you say, Stewie? Like 50 odd cars signed up.
I mean, we have
No,
45 on the track right now.
Yeah. But what I mean is, like, if you didn't take people who signed out of this race only, championship, would have had like an excess of 50 cars. So I think we could have probably gone to Brands today, but at the same time, probably not a good idea because I think Tom had already committed to Silverstone 2 days ago, and also I think if we were struggling for room round Paul Ricard last week, definitely going to struggle finding room for Brands Hatch or 50 cars around Brands Hatch anyway. So saw a fair few cars, saw a fair few crashes last week, Stewie, and spoken to Jesse Lee and listening to Tom Bryant and Ted Edwards in over Triple R radio. It sounds like we're going to see cars off the track, but through their own volition, because I have it on good authority that these KTM's are a handful to drive.
Even Mike Noble said it that the car's special and quite oversteery when you go into slow corners. I'm not quite sure. I mean, there's not that many slow corners here, except maybe the hairpin kind of thing. But yeah, I guess we will see some interesting self-inflicted incidents. But I'm also curious how that many cars here will fight, and we're gonna try something new this time because last time on Paul Ricard, first few rounds went with the normal in-game TV cams, and even for us who, or for me, it's actually clicking on the cars and selecting them as we're seeing. I'm just gonna call him Marius now because we had a discussion about the last name before, and we still couldn't quite figure out how to.
Borges War is what I've been. Borges, something like that. If Marius, if you're listening and that's wrong, then just tell us.
Just send us a sound file of you pronouncing the name. Because I do not trust whatever Google Translate told me there. Anyways, yeah, the TV cams are obviously pretty close, and you didn't really have an overview of what was happening. So today, I'm gonna try to do some free cam action for the first one or maybe 2 rounds, so we can see the whole grid, see what's going on, and then eventually zoom back in to the actual fights. And hopefully that will work a bit better in terms of providing some actual insight on what is happening. We will also have the standings after the qualifying, after the first 2 races. And yeah, a good race.
I'm hoping for a good race again. It was quite, like I said, it was a bit messy last week, but I think it was probably just because drivers weren't particularly used to racing with the Ginettas, particularly around Paul Ricard, where particularly on that long straight where a majority of overtakes do happen. Can't do that obviously in the Ginetta unless you just have unless you crash midway through or something. But I don't think these KTM's like pop out around here, or at least I don't think they do. I know they're not. They're in that category like with the Ginetta and the LP in terms of they're not known for going fast. They're certainly more cornery cars than say for GT4s such as say the BMW or the Chevrolet, I guess. But the AMG back is and plus got top speed, but not much cornering. But yeah, here we are with Nicholas Keller warming up his tyres, going through snow, prepping for quali. I think we have enough room today, Stewie, for cars to have a comfortable cushioned room, unlike last week.
Look at the pits. How many cars are still in the pits? So definitely leaving a bit more space. I guess few drivers again who will not qualify on Paul Ricard as well. But yeah, I mean, is Silverstone actually better than Paul Ricard? I don't think so, right? The lap times are very similar, but Silverstone has a few more corners, so I would guess that Silverstone is shorter.
I think the average speed is a bit faster around Paul Ricard because of the straight, but I'll have to double check that one. But either way, Silverstone just over 3.5 miles or 5.9 kilometers for anybody who deals with different units of measurement for distances. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be following Mr. Keller for his first qualifying lap of this session. Through the final bit. This used to be part of the old F1 layout. Changed it back. I feel like the mid 2010s where they had it revamped. Anyway, off we go. Exiting through Luffield, through Woodcut now, as he starts his flying lap. First corner of your lap round here is Cops. I want to drop it down to 4. Late apex because you're putting your foot down quite early on through here. Now it's time for the fun bit. Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. First of all, here's Maggots. Fast left-hander into Beckett's. Give a bit of the curve if you want to. Bit of corrections of slide. Well, it's both Maggots. This is Beckett's now, beg your pardon. Just drop down to third. Nice smooth steering, and onto Chapel as we come onto the hangar straight. Underneath the infield bridge we go, as we charge our way down to Stoke Corner, turn 7 of the Silverstone circuit. Again, late apex, down 2 gears, into third we go. Late apex again, you want to, with these GT4 cars, because there's not a lot of aero, you want to try and focus on corner exits a lot. Fine, now we come through the Bale chicane, onto the new, well, the relatively new F1 pit complex. Through Club, this is Club here, this is the last corner of the F1 track, and here's the F1 grid, which we don't use obviously in ACC. Next up is Abbey, turn 12. You're looking out for the pit complex window for your break point-ish. You want to try and move over to the right as quickly as you can. Turn 13, we come to the arena section. This is Club or Farm, I forgot which one this was now. Yeah, you want to move over to the right fast as you can for the second half of the arena bit. Move over to the right and coming up now into turn 16 and onto the Wellington straight. Stay over to the right as much as we can as we come into Brooklands, turn 17. We're looking out for the little hotel. That's the Brooklands Hotel on your right there. That's a brake marking you can use. Second gear, maybe a bit too much. But I think third gear is just about good. And then a bit of an odd one, Luffield. You probably want to be tight up to the line as you can as we come into Luffield to finish off the corner, finish off the lap. Let's see where Mr. Keller qualifies or what he puts down. I think a few minute 12 is fast. Yeah. But Chomley's ruined that one. And 2:11 is also very fast.
And it already looked quite slidey there. So I think what those drivers told you and wrote in the chat before, we could already see that it's one lap with the car being a bit on the loser side here, as most of the drivers getting the lap in. And I think we have more people out than last time. We have Matt Samuel in the box, we have Jago Penka, Jakob Torvinen, Don Daly, Mike Noble, and Kilian Ryan-Minen. I think Cormac signed out of this championship. Probably just a bit too sick with whatever he had. And he's actually fine as well this time. Or maybe he's just doing laps to get a bit used to it.
probably needs a bit more getting used to.
He's
These cars are taking out board. Oh,
he did. Yeah, he did that.
I'm going to talk about that.
He was
But
just
yeah,
flattening the ground for later when he goes there.
yeah, yeah. See, I want to correct one thing while we're talking about people in the pit lane. I believe last time we spotted people had been disqualified from that, and I thought that was Tom Bryant being merry with the admin password, Stewie. But it turned out that what they've actually figured out is by driving backwards down the pit lane, they get automatically disqualified from qualifying. But I believe they're not doing that this week because Tom Bryant's words, the pit lane may not be long enough to do that.
But I'm pretty sure if you drive backwards on the track as well, except then you impede other drivers. So
I'll be very cross of our chief steward if he does drive backwards on an active racetrack.
yeah, but it's weird because it looked like all the disqualifications popped up at the same time. Maybe we just missed them because they were all so far down the field.
I think we missed them, Stewie, to be honest, last time. Because I remember seeing, watching back the stream, there was like a car going backwards when we were focusing on a car in the pit lane, basically. So
it wasn't that Mike Noble who just went backwards outside of the pit lane even.
Hey, I like Aaron Jackson's team name there. I hate this car.
Actually, half a second up on his time and 12.9 and is immediately by in the bond with another M driver who is fast now. Who was the M driver last week that got bumped up to silver?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, he's in P37 at the moment. Not a valid lap yet.
Not, he hasn't set a time, okay. Oh, we do have 3 people who've managed to drive backwards in the pit lane, Stewie.
Tom Bryant, John Daly, and William Stevenson. And
oh no, they've wait, hang on, what's going on here? Is Tom Bryant EQing them manually?
Looks like it because I don't see any cars driving backwards there.
Very disappointing. Why can't they figure out a way to disqualify themselves without Tom needing to get involved?
So from the top 5, we have Verstappen still up on his time by half a second at the moment. Marius was also quite a bit faster, but then he lost all the time in the last sector, so he might even on at 2:11. Then we have Dubon leading M-Grid here with again quite a big gap, over almost exactly a second. And Rob Franken, silver pack here. Not that big of a gap, it's only but nonetheless, I think Chris Silver just put in that lap or improved, but he is very close.
So Rob Franken, very experienced GT4 driver. I think he's done GT4 individually, both in the Thursday one, and also drives the GT4 team in EWC. Very experienced with these cars. I don't believe he drives a KTM though. In either championship he's done. Move on to from one RCI steward to another, Daniel Duretz, another solid silver driver. I don't think I've seen him much in a GT4, but in a Lamborghini. For GT3 Fridays whenever I've seen it. Yeah. And Christopher Streppen?
Up by a second at the
yeah. Wait, so he's close to pole then, is he? Oh. Very close. Not close enough, obviously. So yeah, he drove the Alpine and GT4 Thursdays last season in the team champ. Should be very experienced with these types of cars, certainly. Or these types in the of GT4 cars anyway. So who's the top 3 at the moment? We should have Fortis Low, Marius, whatever, mate. Sorry, we're going to get your name right eventually. Sever, Verstappen, Fischer, Chomley, Boardman. Not to say Franken, but Korogodski's taken P7. Rob Franken, John Razor. That's Ethan Scott, rounding up the top 10 overall.
It looks like Severt might actually get the pole in the last lap. He's 2 tenths up at the moment. Lost a bit of time here, still on 1.5. It's something between 1 and 2 tenths. So,
Oh,
bad exit. Lost all the time,
has
and
he
I don't think.
invalidated it?
No, he didn't invalidate, but he had a bad exit and he just lost all the time he had, and that did not improve his lap time. We have Andy Boardman, who's also a tiny bit up on his lap, but I don't think it's enough to actually gain a position unless he gains some more time in the last corner. No, he ends up at the moment, which is not enough. Someone just got
Yeah, Gert Fisher's been DQ'd because he's asked to be DQ'd, so he can stop from the back.
I see.
So basically, only one person who's not been disqualified has set a lap, or has set a valid lap, should we say, Dewey. And I just gave away the answer through my own slip of the tongue. It was indeed Jesse Lee. I think Jesse's not set a lap on purpose.
Yeah, he
As you
did
said,
that on Paul Ricard as well. He just drove around and then slowed down somewhere and just invalidated the laps. Guess he just needs a longer practice session. So Trevor Anderson here, 7 tenths up, and he improves and makes it up to 10 and 2 in silver.
who was that?
Car spinning. Yes.
Well, they say these cars are difficult to control, but I'm sure they're okay to control in a straight line.
Standings. Because we have a lot of standing pages to go through and a lot of names to incorrectly spell.
I'm looking forward to it.
Most of the pro grid again, starting from the back. The RCI is also starting from the back. So let's have a look at the standings. And of course, we're starting with shall not be pronounced, Marius. It's saying same car because obviously different car each week. He's leading with 137 points after the first short races. Then we have Savert behind with 116 and Samuel 106. That we have Johnny Razor, Ethan Scott, Nick Keller, Samuel, Michael Cantacalu, Leo, and Carlos Gatayu. And I think actually Konrad Chaulu started from the back in both races. But Samuel, well, I think he just
No, Matt Samuel started from like P3 or P4 last race.
oh right, he didn't start at the front for the first race, but he started at the
Yeah,
front.
he didn't. Ah, yes, you're right. Sorry, we're half wrong. Different counts.
Then still in the pro class, we have Andras Sarka, Gerd Fischer, Daniel Korotsky, Jake Boswell, Jakob Tavanen, Cormac Ryan-Minen, who signed out of the championship, Mike Noble, Killian Ryan-Minen, Jordan Daly, Octane, who signed out,
You signed out the champ.
also out of the championship.
Yep.
They're all going for the Harry Conway.
Oof.
Then still in the pro field, William Stevenson, Christopher Strappen, Gergo Panka, Anton Vasilev, guys did not finish the races or weren't there.
I think Andy Borgen wasn't here.
I'm pretty sure he was. Maybe not. I don't know. Then we go to the silver class, leading with 116 points. Kim David Merkens, followed by Rudi Filmalter with 109 points and Aaron Jackson, 96 points. Then we have Jamie Ellis, Mika Martins, Ben Robertson, Jürgen hier, Les Stevens, Franken, and Raphael Hüll. 11 to P20, we have Daniel Duretz, Trevor Anderson, Ted Edwards, Martin van Van, Steve Hughes, Bryant Miller, Ivanov, John and Nastasescu Adrian. That looks like the name is way, doesn't it? Like it should be the other way around.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then back of the silver field, we have John Beatman, Alexander Polanco, and these two drivers did not finish or weren't there last. Grid have Niels Tochtermann leading 20 points, Tom Watts following with 11, Gregor Marszalek with 5, Tim Dargaville, Martin Dubon, Patrick Fitzpatrick. Nice. Jesse in P7.
Go Jesse! I mean, not biased, sorry. Go on.
Satoshi Kaneko, Toby Lewin, Joshua Van Stone. And the back, Lee Ward, Chris Humphreys, Mitru, Yaroshenko, Marcel Richter, and Daniel Oppenhuis. So was there last week.
I believe he
so long
Oppenhusen signed out as well.
Right. And since we only have 3-minute time between qualifying and race, we are already on our warm-up lap here with a long grid.
Yeah, I was going to say, Stu, it's a good thing. I think that they're not even. I mean, they're about quarter of the way round now. We started those championship standing review with like the 3-minute timer on. We did have a fair few pages to get through there. Was it like 8?
Yeah, it's 8 pages. So last week you asked me who I think of the drivers I know will get the first drive-through. Then I'm gonna ask you, who do you think of the drivers we know will have the first self-inflicted spin?
Self-inflicted spin.
I mean, it's gonna be a bit difficult because we might not see it, but
well, I'm gonna. Well, yes. Well, the first one we catch on stream, we'll say.
First one we catch on stream.
Okay. Yeah. So knowing you, the leaf would be Ted Edwards, because you seem to be like, you just enjoy watching people in RCI suffer for some reason, Stewie. How dare you?
I think I'm going for Tom this time.
You're going for Tom Bryan?
Yeah.
Ted and Tom. Right, okay. We're gonna have some fun getting some self-inflicted spins on stream, but yeah.
Who did you pick? You picked Ted.
I picked Ted, yeah. So
right.
We've gone for the low-hanging fruit, to be honest, Stewie, between us.
That is true, yeah.
But on a serious note, these cars are quite difficult to control. Of all the GT4s, I think it's probably only the Maserati which is less fun to drive in terms of like on the limit control on these cars. Then again, that one has no ABS or TC.
I would say the Maserati is more fun to drive from what I heard, because I don't think I've ever driven a GT4 apart from like the first 2 weeks when they came out.
Did you not enjoy them?
They were fine. I mean, I did have fun with them, but it's like similar to the same reason why I only drive the Porsche. It's with all the coding stuff I'm doing, I don't have a lot of time at the moment, so I would be trying to learn like 3 or 4 different cars and wouldn't get anywhere. So I just focused on driving this one car. And we are coming into the last corner here. And that means I'm going to switch to the flying drone and gonna see
Thank God.
what we can do with this as we watch this long grid. It's a bit shorter than what we had on Paul Car. Already see that just by looking at it.
And I think they're going to be midway through the. Is that Tom Bryan in the pit lane?
42 it is, yeah.
Tom, what you done? Probably too busy DQing people.
Right.
Here they are, lining up for the start. Do he gets on the drone controls?
That was a bit tricky to
keep
that in place without getting dizzy, but there we go.
Oh, they're going faster than the drone!
And we're going to the first corner. It's almost clean, there's a small touch.
Oh, someone's dead. I think that's Martin Dubon.
They're going 4 wide, almost 5 right.
Oh my God.
At the back of the grid. Wow.
So some people are using the old pit lane gate there.
2 cars off in the front as well. They had a bit of contact and 3 cars, 2 cars, I'm not sure, but a few cars off here, Maggots and Beckett's. I think that's just how the Silverstone starts, just have to work, a few cars off and
I'm
There's
not happy with
a lot
that.
of cars next to each other, and someone just
Oh, no,
got hit on the straight.
Have a look and see. Oh,
197, I think.
oh, that's Jordan Daly.
Reminds me a bit of last week on Paul Ricard, where we had a lot of incidents just on the straight. This long grid here just still going 3, 4, 5 right into some of these corners.
There's death.
Yeah.
Someone's gone straight across at the Vale chicane, and I think there's like at least 3 cars that have. Oh, and there's some people gone. There's three of them off at that club. Oh, what is going on today?
There was.
Let's go back to the head of the. Let's go back. There's still a mess up here. Oh, has there been a mess at Club or Farm, whichever one it is, into the arena section? Oh. Dewey, I thought I said there wasn't going to be any crashes today, and it just turns out nobody listened. They're just going to spin with each other, it seems. Oh, there's another. I think there's a little tap. Yeah, there's been a. I think this is just reminiscent of this championship, isn't it? People just really having a bit of fun by maybe not maybe being a bit more aggressive than they would normally be, because this is just a nice little fun, lax championship.
I think some of these incidents also relate to maybe someone losing the car a bit and then hitting someone else, but they're still going. And that is our first lap, and we've had a lot already. So let's see where we ended up with. And we have the front of the grid, who I don't think much changed here, but at least 2 or 3 cars of the front runners should be further back, and I think that's Boardman and Verstappen. So let's see if I can find that. That should be the 69 and the 747. Oh, look what happened here. Lead entry into brackets and brackets, and yeah, it looked like he just lost it on his own, and then maybe didn't hold the brakes or just couldn't control the car. Fortunate for Boardman there, of course.
I think you're just a passenger. The minute you lose control of these cars, it's just a bit. Oh, what do you think he's caught? Is that Verstappen again?
That was Verstappen and Boardman again. And now look at all the cars coming from behind.
I can swear, Verstappen, is that Verstappen off with a pink car, I think, just on the left-hand side of my screen. And oh, boys, what's going on at Club now? They're going like 4 wide through Club. And I mean, very difficult.
Are we still at
the
the
first 3
lap?
wide at the back? No, it's just second lap. They're 3 wide at the very top of your picture. They go into what's this one now? I forgot what this one's called now. They're 4 wide coming into the arena. I think we're still focusing on Andy Boardman's off. I mean, he just had a little bit of a tap, and oh my goodness me.
This looked just like the first lap, to be honest. This whole chicane section there.
And, I don't like that rejoin, mate.
Someone standing on the track. What's that? Idea?
I think we're going to struggle to find. The minute we find one instance, Stewie, there's going to be like a million other ones to keep track of.
As expected, it's a bit hard to keep up, but I think one thing we found is that indeed people are losing the cars, and since they're all so close together and racing side by side, which would be, from what it looks like, very clean racing, and then someone just loses the car and it just ends up in a chain reaction because there's just so many cars so close together. We have a few groups now splitting up. We have again the front 3. I think that's actually the same drivers who were on Paul Ricard with Arias, Sevad and Chumley. Just a bit faster than the rest, and then one group for the midfield, and then just a very long back, and we have some yellow again there, the 123 Mike Noble. Let's see what happened here. Looks like he just...
Oh goodness me. What was that?
Not sure, but again, someone losing it on their own, and then other people just getting involved there.
I think when you're on the very edge of grip through particularly turn 1, and you see something in front of you like that, you're gonna have to when you try and like suddenly turn these cars over, they don't appreciate weight transfer as much as, or don't like taking weight transfer as much as other cars. So obviously Mike there having to bail out of going through turn one, committed, and he's an accident in front of him, lose control of the car.
Yeah. It was a deep dive here from Nicolas Keller, and he actually made the move stick because now he has the inside, and Keller cannot get around that. And I do think we also have an accident with Jesse Lee involved, because his position's down from where it started. This should be on lap 2.
Lap 2.
And,
Oh.
Is that actually... Is Jesse the one with the black and yellow one? Yes, he is. So he just got turned into by another driver, so not even his fault. And I see at least 4 other contacts. I see at least 4 other contacts that Jesse Lee had, but he's still driving. From here, and Daniel Duretz.
Oh, no contact. Oh, bit physical, a bit of a touring car move from Tom Bryant, Stewie.
Yeah, that was the move to put into the Ted elbows out meme.
But yeah, so yeah, there's a. I think where's Tom now? He's P35. I think he started from the pit lane, so Tom's progressing up the field quite nicely. As we see. Is that Jarkko Toivonen? Is that Killian Ryan-Minen?
Yeah, it is.
On his inside. Oh, that was Ted.
Ted? Yes, it
That was Ted. Oh.
And is that actually the self-induced?
That self-induced spin?
It is.
Oh. Well,
and I think
hanging fruit.
that might be the first one. I'm pretty sure we saw another one.
We saw a fair few more. We saw a fair few more than before 10.
Yeah,
so.
Just hard to tell who that was, but I'm gonna give you that one. That's
nice.
a point for you. And,
good job, mate.
Looks like Miller actually got by Keller again, or no? But he's still fighting for that position, so he's not giving up that P12 without a fight.
Yeah, it's a tasty fight between these two at the minute. We obviously saw Keller just speaking of tasty fights, is that Verstappen and the 2 FFS cars right behind him. That's the last thing you want to see if you're Verstappen, to be honest.
That's a trickle. What?
Oh, is that trickle? Is that called trickle? Oh, I thought that was Verstappen. They got a similar sort of thing. But either way, you don't want to be seeing 2 FFS racing cars in your rearview mirror when you're already struggling enough to keep control of these KTMs, and you just see 2 stupidly fast drivers behind you. Last thing you want to be doing is getting involved in that. I thought he was moving over for them, but where are we now? We're on the Wellington Straight, so we're just coming up here to the final place of corners. I think that's Killian behind us, and then there's Jarkko Toivonen behind him.
Oh.
So these two are still fighting for position. Jarkko Toivonen just about nearly making the move there. I think he's still got a bit of overlap there on Killian. Maybe just about. Either way, they keep giving each other plenty of room. I think Jarkko Toivonen's got this bestow. Unless we're going to see something reminiscent of Max Verstappen, but no. Manages to overtake the switchback from Killian.
And there was a yellow flag as well. Oh, let's just have a quick look. There might have been some cars on the side. But yeah, what a nice double switchback there. First in the last corner, Toivonen, and then Ryan-Minen doing the same thing into the first one. And I mean, you can see if these drivers struggle with the car, then what do these non-alien drivers have to do to are stable? And that is a drive-through. Or Scott. Is that for track limits?
It would be for track limits, yeah.
Huh.
I didn't think you can get track limits around here with these cars.
Oh.
No, cold trickle. Still got all the top. Oh, and Jarkko Toivonen has managed to make his way through. Killian's track extending a bit. side by side coming into the arena. Or Abby, sorry, this is. Oh, goodness me, what's going on behind?
I think that was Adrian who just lost it a bit because he had to brake a bit earlier since Julian did not want to go side by side through there. And Trickle also did not leave him a lot of space, as we're seeing, was that Samuel? I think it was, who just dove into Adrian and Ryan Meenan and actually got both of these positions. So a double overtake here in Hong Kong.
Very good piece of opportunistic driving, as we see. The Strapper who's been in the wars today. I think who that is? Now, 34. That's Ethan Scott, who's got a drive-through. Obviously, not serving it this lap. You've got in ACC 3 laps to serve your DT from when you were first issued it, so he doesn't have to go into the pit immediately. But obviously, Verstappen's not very happy with his driving. Buster Flash, because obviously he's sort of saying, oh, "Mate, you're going to be getting out of my way, going into the pit lane in a bit. So why holding me up?" A fair point to be asking, in my opinion.
In this championship, he might just be going for the fun of driving. And have you noticed how many of these drivers just go very far off the track? I think we've seen it like 2 or 3 times in the fight between Hovnen and Ryan Meenan, who were just going on the grass all the time. And this sounded like a small spinneroni here again. All drift and then understeering off the track.
Yeah, a bit of everything then, Stewie. Had some oversteer on corner entry, understeer through the corner. I don't think these KTMs can decide what they want to do at the minute. Oh! Carlos Colatti, you're going over the launch pad there through. I think that's club. Yeah, that's club. That is. So probably going to have a brand new set of trousers after that one for race 2.
Couldn't see the apex and hitting that sausage curb. I'm surprised the car actually stayed relatively straight, because he hit that curb at such a weird angle. I don't think any of the GT3s would have survived that without at least facing the wrong way once.
Yeah. I mean, obviously these cars, GT4s, are a bit higher up than the GT4 or GT3, beg your pardon. GT4 cousins, but obviously they don't have as much aero, and also some of these are on stilts. Like these KTMs certainly look like they're on stilts. Do good luck, right? But, have we tuned into Jesse Lee? Just overtaking, is that Lauren?
That was Lewin, yeah.
Lewin, just onto the Wellington straight. Jesse Lee now P2 or P3 in class? I'll work out if there's anybody ahead of Marzalek.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a few more arms at the front.
There's a few more arms hiding at the top.
Yes. Yeah. And I think him and Tom just gained a lot of positions with, I think it was this accident where 2 or 3 cars were involved. They gained 3 or 4 positions.
Oh.
Was that Tom drifting through the accident?
I'm pretty many hacks were probably said before, because that looked like a very tight entry into the arena.
I want to see that from his perspective again, because that looked like quite a nice drift there.
It did on purpose.
It didn't actually look like a drift from the cockpit, but definitely looked like it from the outside, and maybe he just wanted to flex on the people, like, hey, look, I can drift and not spin.
What can Jesse in front of Tom?
That's Ted in front of Tom.
That's Ted in front of Tom. Ah.
Yeah, Ted must have had some issues, because he lost the position to Steve Hughes in the last sector. Actually see Tom versus Ted. What a fight that is gonna be. Do you think it's gonna end in tears? That's the question.
It's gonna end in hex, is all I know it's gonna end in. But yeah, so Ted, I think Ted was struggling a bit with these cars, certainly when I thought someone's off over the track over there. are struggling a bit, although I think neither of these two are very familiar with the KTM, and Tom just getting to know Ted's rear end a bit there.
And I think Ted
Ted's
actually...
just gone off the track. Oh, he's back on the track, then that's
Oh,
fine.
he's back on the track, okay.
But I'm pretty sure Tom probably didn't need to do it like that, but
Ooh, Tom again with the...
Oh, he's drifting!
drift!
Oh! I think Ted hit him.
Yeah,
That's not a switchback. I think Ted gave Tom a little accidental punt there. Tom's lost the position there to I think that's Steve Hughes. Between the two.
Tom already had lost it, and then Ted just pushed him a bit wide, but he still held
Sealed
it.
the deal. Yeah, he sealed the deal there, Stewie, I think.
And this is now quite a big group. I think that's 5 or 6 cars here, all fighting for 31. And Ted actually close behind Mike Noble as well. And who was that?
That's Hughes, that is, I think.
Oh,
maybe it's not.
It was.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, it's Marcelek. Oh, beg your pardon.
What happened there? Oh, just counter steering way too much, and then the snapback. Luckily, there's a lot of runoff areas, so you don't immediately hit the wall.
Imagine if we went to Brands Hatch now. We would see some cars in the barrier, to be honest.
And then we have another car off the track. I think every time when we switch to another group of cars, there's always either one car facing the wrong way, or just coming off the grass. And Brian Meenan and Noble fighting for position here.
Make it around the outside. Oh, doing some track extending there. What is it with that corner? It's like clubbers just seem to be... I think that's probably where Ethan Scott got most of his... Oh my goodness me. Some rallycross lines going on here today.
It looked like he wanted to send it on the inside, but there wasn't enough space, and he just wanted to make more space. That would have ended up a bit badly.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just noticing, is that Mike Noble with a not pink livery? Did he give every other driver his abysmal pink livery and then not using it himself?
Maybe this is just like a graphical glitch in the Matrix or something like that. There is no way that Mike Noble is not running some plain, non-eye-catching, dull livery. There's just no way, Stewie. The Matrix is broken.
Tom actually got backed by Ted Edwards and Ethan Scott here. Missed that part, but he did take those positions. Behind them, there's Jesse Lee actually leading the second bigger group of cars that we're fighting with anyone, but pretty close together. So we're seeing Scott here trying to make a move on Ted. We have another drive-through from
At limits, people need to behave. I think Jesse's got... Oh, I thought John was behind Jesse, never mind. So Jesse's got like a second gap from between him and the next car. So they got a bit of a tasty fight here. Ted, obviously, silver driver. Ethan Scott, pro driver. Ted doesn't need to let him... Obviously, doesn't need to let him through because they're racing, but if Ethan Scott gets past him, then he's still where he is in pro, and Ted is still where he is in silver. But I'm pretty sure Ted doesn't want to have a car between... Oh, someone's sprinted the purple car there.
None of them. 23. Oh, that was Killian. What happened there?
Somebody... Oh!
What was he doing on the grass there? That looked like he spun like two cars right off the track. Maybe he just tried to also go further on the inside.
And who's this? This is Tom Bryant and Mike Noble.
Mike Noble must have lost some time there with
Killian. Yeah. This is not a fight you see every day. Tom Bryant's against Mike Noble. Tom Bryant there taking the rallycross line off the track. Back onto the Wellington Straight. And who's this? Is this Mr. Gergo Panker? And Dan
Robertson.
Dan Robertson. Ah, okay. Is that RCI steward Dan Robertson?
I
So I would say
suppose.
they're on the outside.
They're actually in very similar liveries. Is that just... Yeah, that might just be one of the standard liveries, and they just have the same base color, I guess. With the, how did we call it last time? Gift wrapping colors around.
Yeah, it was like a Christmas present theme. Some people had last week, so obviously some people still haven't opened their Christmas presents. It was like 5 days ago now, boys. Come on, you gotta open them up.
And look at this. His best lap at 2:10.8. That should be faster than the best quali lap, isn't it?
There's been a big incident at turn 1. Stewie.
There was a 1:23. Oh,
What was that, Mike Noble?
that was Mike Noble, who somehow was almost stationary on the track. And other cars
On the racing line as well.
Yeah, he must have had a contact before, but here we are seeing the leader of the race, who we haven't seen always because it was just driving, essentially. The gap behind didn't really change the entire time. If you have any fights, just started on pole and finishing in this race 1 of Silverstone.
A textbook drive from Marius there, and also credit to Sever as well, keeping him honest. Probably in P3. I think that's exactly the same top 3 we had in race 2 last week, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it might be.
The wrap up, Aaron Jackson wins in silver. I think that's going to be Ellis and Boutier finishing P2 and 3 in silver. So I think we're going to see the 120. 20 should be coming up quite yet. Dmitro Yaroshenko, the 120, finishing 1 in AM, P15 overall. RCI's Tom Watts and also RCI's Martin Dubon in 2 and 3 in AM. Oh, Trevor Anderson, is this P3 in silver? I think.
And I think Tom actually passed both of them, both of them in the last sector here, because he is now in front, and indeed he was. So Tom.
Oh, that's not P3 in silver now.
No, it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. It's P7 in silver. But
very good drive, Tom.
Did gain 1 position at the end. We also had Daniel Duretz with a drive-through well, and it should be the last cars across the finish line here. These two also fighting for position, and that is almost a photo finish. I'm not even sure who that was. Lewin and Miller, I think. So they're just slightly behind the line. And for people finish line, is that Mike Noble running out of fuel?
I think Noble's run out of fuel. I can't hear an engine. I can't hear an engine.
Very silent, yes, indeed.
Oh, it's one of those electric KTMs.
So, is Chris Humphries gonna help him? Because his car looks pretty dent already, so I don't think it will make a big difference. Was Mike Noble actually gonna roll over the line?
Oh, Chris is not helping him.
Get how close this is. Oh no. Oh
no,
no.
Oh, the drama, no!
And that is so close to the line. Look at that. So his last hope. Vasilev. He's going to the pits. No. No. That means Noble has to also return to the garage, and yeah, he did. No, he didn't. But I'm not sure where he would finish. I guess he would still be in the same position as he is right now, because guy behind has a drive-through. Julian Weinmin finished 1 lap earlier.
Oh wait, Tom. I think Tom's coming out to. Tom, giving Mike a push. Oh.
I mean,
oh no, he's not. No, he's not coming out the pits.
No one is moving yet.
Tom lied to me. Oh no, Tom. No. Wait, is Tom going to turn around?
Tom was actually going to go out, yeah.
Out the pits. Oh, don't tell me he's going to drive around the whole lap rather than just turn around.
These drivers must be a bit furious now with Noble, because, as I said, I think if he just returns to the pit now, he would still be in the same position as he is in
Well,
at the
yeah,
moment.
but what we're gonna see now, Stu, is we're gonna see Tom Bryant come out. It's gonna be like,
Oh yes,
you ever seen? It's like
let's
that
watch.
Disney movie about cars or automobiles. Sorry, it's Lightning McQueen, played by
Yeah,
Tom Bryant.
you mean cars? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Disney's automobiles. Yes. Tom Bryant's gonna emulate his hero, Lightning McQueen. You're gonna say ka-chow.
But Tom just wants to have the screen time alone on track now.
That is true.
He doesn't care about Mike. He just wants everyone to watch him drive. Now imagine he spins it out. Imagine that.
Oh, God, Tom spinning.
And then he resets it back to pits and goes out again. I'm actually surprised there's no like overtime limit like this in
there
is.
I think there is. It's like I think it's like it's like like the timeout between qualifying and the race when not like the actual. Oh no, Tom.
There is okay.
Yeah.
So
sorry, but
it's the wait time after the session that counts here. What a shame. What a shame. But yeah, these are standings here. We have M Field, Yaroshenko winning, Watson 2, Dubon in on actually, and he was pretty close behind P4 this time. So just to see what he can do in the next race. Then in silver we have Jackson, Ellis, and Buritier on two. Quite a gap to cars behind here as well. We have 4 plus 7 plus 12, 14, and then 35. And drivers here did not finish. Then in pro we have Marius, Evert, and Chamli on P1.
I think Tom's going to be really disappointed that we didn't get that moment of him pushing Mike Noble over the line on stream.
We did, kind of. It wasn't the background.
Well, yeah, it wasn't even worth doing. So
can probably get a replay of that.
Maybe. No. Maybe. Sorry, Tom.
Not far enough back. But yeah, now we're just waiting for the time to tick over, so we can hopefully see a bit of cleaner lap 1 in the next race, because while I don't think a lot of people actually had huge amounts of damage or were actually like far behind the grid, a lot of people definitely lost some positions, especially the guys in the front who just had to. Actually, no, because this is the time now that you can set in the servers where it's like the post-race wait time or whatever. So I guess the other cutoff that we had was some preset time from ACC or something. But yeah, what do you think about this race?
This race, I thought it was a little bit cleaner, but yeah, it was okay. It was cleaner than last week's race, particularly the second race. But then again, I think I'm setting the bar a bit too low there. It was a bit more fun to watch. Like, I think because the cars don't top out to halfway down the main straight, so we can actually see some people exercise some racecraft rather than some restricted plate racing. But yeah, it was fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch this week so far. So hopefully we get the same again for race 2.
And I mean, all these 4 or 5 rides, these cars are just too small for this track, or the track is too wide for these cars, one of the two, because there shouldn't be that many cars going into the same corner. I think it was the chicane where we saw that very much in the first lap, where there was just 10 cars or something trying to turn in on the apex at the same time. obviously not work out.
Now, Stewie, if you remember last week, we went on board with one of our Triple R brethren, Jesse Lee, last week. Did we want to go on board with Jesse or another for race 1?
I
And
think
drag them into the box?
I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the helicam again for lap 1, because I think that was quite good to just get a general overview of what's happening, and then once the lap is over, we're just gonna drag Jesse in and let him talk to us about his first race and what he's hoping to achieve in the second race.
I'll be right back. Let me go and drag him in here.
I mean, and I also just noticed it's hot. It's 2937C. So hello, Jesse.
Jesse Lee. You had an eventful race, Jesse. How many times did you spin on your own?
I had one spin. That was pretty much it.
So plenty of spins on their own that last race.
Yeah.
How difficult are they to control?
Very. I know this isn't an advertisement for KTM, and I'm not saying they're all like this. I'm merely saying that the cars are very difficult to drive, even for the pros. We saw a lot of pros go off there, and it's just there's something about the braking of this car where if you try to brake as you normally would in trail brake, the back end always seems to want to go around. It's very difficult to drive. It's very tricky. Paul Ricard last week was difficult because of track limits and the confines of the racetrack. This week, it is purely the car. It is a very difficult car to drive, especially in a pack of cars.
Jesse, we're not going to be on board with you for the first lap like we were last week. Stewie's got his little drone out this week, so we can see the mess at turn 1 as it happens. Yeah, so
and turn 2 and turn 3
and turn 2
and all the following turns actually.
Yeah, it's been odd, Jesse. Every time Stewie changes views to someone else, there's just a mess happening or about to happen, and it's a bit of a weird experience.
I will tell you, I was in the Triple R chat, and I was saying, I was like, that race was a bit too calm. It wasn't enough chaos, and everybody but me erupted. Like, what are you talking about? Apparently, they had a whole lot of calamities. I saw a lot of them. I just wasn't caught up in any of them. I didn't have a single contact with anybody.
My broadcast tool tells me otherwise, though. Got at least 4 or 5 contacts.
I had no damage, so I don't know what that's all about.
He's got some masking. He's got some of that like silver tape damage. That's all he's got. He'll buff out all damage.
By the way, do you guys know what happened to Noble in that last race?
Yeah, we were watching. We were watching the drama unfold as Tom Bryant came out the pits to rescue him, and then he was too late.
No, before that.
Oh, with Ted Edwards. Yeah, we saw that.
No, Mike Noble thought the race ended a lap before it did and pulled off the racetrack, only to realize it was the white flag lap, not the checkered flag.
Oh, yeah. He slowed down on the racing line, Jesse.
Yeah.
He thought the race was over.
We just saw him being very slow, and we didn't catch what happened, so we just assumed that must have had like a contact or something. But yeah, that him being so slow, I think that killed 2 other cars that had to avoid him. So
yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mike Noble, for the assist, but...
Oh, that were the cars that you gained positions on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I ended up 5th in that race. If I would have felt more confident in the car, I probably would have fought for 4th there at the end, but I just didn't quite have... I don't know. I don't have any security in this car, and the only comforting thing is knowing that nobody else does either.
Well, apart from like the first 3, 4, 5 drivers who I don't think made any mistakes because they just stayed in the same positions as they started in. Apart from Verstappen and Boardman, who just I think Verstappen lost it into Maggots and Beckett's in lap 1 and just slid across and took out Boardman there. But apart from that, they've been very, very clean and didn't have any issues. While the rest of the grid, I think most of the accidents were just caused by very close racing and then someone on the inside losing the car on his own and then just sliding into other cars, causing the chain reaction with so many cars. Same spot. I think we saw 3 or 4 times in the first lap 5 wide into some corners, or 4 or 5 wide, 2 rows.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Jesse, have you ever made it 5 wide?
Sure. I got taken 3 wide in the middle.
Nice.
I don't know what. I don't know what turn what name of the turn is. It's the turn we're coming up to. In fact, I had a pro on my inside and a silver on my outside, and self-preservation kicked in and I backed out. But it was absolutely insane. I also had to dodge Mike Noble on the first 3 laps. The man was inventing his own racetrack, guys. He was not even on the racetrack. Absolute mammal, that Mike Jones. Or not Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Mike Noble. Mike Jones is also a mammal, and I'm going to, unfortunately, be stuck with him in a car this weekend for the New Year.
Oh. Oh, yeah,
I
that's,
think-
oh, someone spun!
Yeah, we sure do, boys. They're spinning on the pace lap. Some of the we're all having fun. You know, this is not a serious race. We're all having fun, but that is how difficult this car is to drive. It is frustrating.
Oh, that's
It's fun. It's fun though.
Well, I'm not sure if it looks fun or not, Jesse, but
I'm having a lot of fun personally.
yeah, Jesse, we may talk over you because we're not obviously on board with you, so
I'm probably gonna be quiet. unless something
right,
happens.
okay.
Green light, give it okay.
That is the green light. We're going in for the second race. We already see a few 3 or 4 whites there in the back. Lap 1, turn 1 is not clean. I was just about to say we didn't see anything. Few cars off here, sliding into other cars. Another one going off track, collecting someone else. One
That's
off
me.
the grid. We have another car going off track here, actually hitting the wall. Backets and backets. And apart from that, so counting, say, 2 accidents so far. It's already better than race 1.
Jesse, do you want me to drag you out the box? Because I think you may want to vent somewhere else after that.
I'm not mad.
on,
It's a fun race.
Look-
It's a fun race. I don't know who that was that slid across the track there, but certainly they got crashed. Oh, they're crashing up in front of me again.
Yeah, the accident's already cleared, Jesse, so you should be okay. Yes. So yeah, we've had an interesting start to this race again. Oh, more mess. At the Vale chicane. Oh, there's a car in the middle of the track, just on the exit of Vale, and oh my goodness me.
And 4 wide into the turn there on the braking, and just not enough room for everybody to get back on track. But yeah, in general, it looks a bit cleaner than race 1. We still have a few contacts, but it's really not as bad as race 1 so far. As I say that, another car just taking itself out.
I don't know who that is. Oh my
Spicy
goodness
rejoin.
me.
Spicy rejoin.
Very spicy. Oof. Oh, and someone's. Is that him again? Is it 10 cars again that spun? The inside?
Not quite sure, but these pink cars just don't know where the track ends. It looks like they're just going on the
I beg your
grass,
pardon?
over the curbs.
Not triple R cars, Jeff.
Not blue and pink, like the
Yeah,
FFS
just pink.
cars. And well, the end of lap 1 ends with a bit of a there in the last
goodness
lap as we
me.
have another interesting rejoin back into the track.
That's one way of putting it.
That does conclude our lap 1, and see on the track map.
Jesus Christ, was that only 1 lap?
The grid
That's only
definitely a
one
bit
lap,
closer
definitely.
together than what we saw in the first race here, and let's hope that it keeps going towards not being too many incidents here.
Right, Jesse, I'm gonna take you back to your little friends, where you can don't have to feel like you're gonna have to censor yourself. Go have fun, Jesse. And
Cheers,
hopefully,
guys. Enjoy the rest of the race. I feel like there's more to come.
oh god, there's going to be a lot of drifting, Jesse. But yeah, good luck. See you later.
Cheers, guys.
the Jordan Daly, who's had a bit of a rough start to his first race. Dewey, then after the race he had like 28 seconds of damage. Now usually these cars aren't aero sensitive, but I can tell you now, 28 seconds of damage on any car in this game is a significant amount.
Isn't the KTM one of the more aero-dependent PT4s? At least that's what I would assume by the chassis of the car. But yeah, 28 seconds definitely not great to have. We only have 2 cars ended up in the pit lane so far. That's Cole Trickle, who actually was quite far at the start. So I don't know what happened to him. 63.
Oh, there's been an accident at the arena.
It's the number 30. Italy reset, so look what happened. Yeah. Or just a car. Not sure why he retired. It doesn't look like he had too much contact there.
Technical problem, probably.
I think this is at the moment. Actually, we have a strap-in now, who did not get taken out this time, and he is chasing Romney now. So one of the grid now consists of 4 cars. Boardman and quite key up at the moment. We had the number 17, also accident. I think that was also self-induced. I don't see any other car with them.
Also note that Seves managed to get past Marius for P1.
Did it?
Which I think we missed, but either way, this looks like a tasty fight for P3 between Verstappen and Conley doing.
I'm gonna see if I can find the overtake. When exactly might have happened, but have a look. Could be this one. Is that the... Which order is that? I'm not sure which of these cars is 81.
Marius was pole. So. Yeah, that's. Oh, the run. Oh.
Yeah, I think the overtake must have happened a bit earlier than in. I assume it would be in Maggots and Beckett's. But yeah, Sivat did get by, as we have. Is that Jaakko Torvonen in between Tom Bryant and. Oh, he's in front of Tom Bryant and Ted Edwards, but he is chasing Lewin at the moment.
Not really a sandwich you want to be in either, Stewie, is it? Between Tom Bryant and Ted Edwards. Not a safe place on the track to be.
You can see in the standings on the left, actually, Gergo Penka just dropped a lot of positions. I'm not sure anything correct, but he must have time there. That here, is that actually a contact with Mike Noble?
Whoa! No! A cent and a half.
That was a cent and a half, and a bit on the edge with that rejoin. Luckily the other cars could avoid it, and I saw another car standing on the side of the track there, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, Mike Noble actually losing a bit, but yeah, what I was talking about is the standings on the side. Every time we pass a section line, they're just going up and down, like entirely, because people are just like, especially the mid and back of the grid. There's just so many people losing it or accidents happening at the moment that the standings will just not calm down at the moment.
We'll see a few spinners from here and there, and that certainly is not going to help the standings stay stable. Particularly these 20-minute races don't really lend themselves to being stable. Drivers don't really have a chance to sit back and wait for a mistake. They're going to have to wait for a mistake, and usually with these KTMs that doesn't take that long for that to happen. With the mid-corner oversteer some of these guys are getting.
Look at how many cars there were.
Oh, Ted's died.
That was a lot of cars again. Oh, yeah, so some of these cars were a bit slower out of the corner and then just more piling up from behind. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars. And Ted unfortunately getting collected there. someone else, and we had another contact there. So feels like every time there's an accident, there's at least 3 or 4 other cars that just had nothing to do with it, just getting collected or collecting someone else because they just couldn't see anything.
It's obviously, as we said before, with Mike Noble at turn 1 for the previous race. Like when you're committed in these cars, it's very difficult to bail out. I think Chomley's pulling slightly away from King. It's certainly a lot. The gap looks a bit further away than when it was about a lap or 2 ago when we last trained up on these guys. A bit further ahead of them, about 2 and a bit seconds up the road from Chomley is Marius and Seve, who are still within a second of each other. Replay of Gogo Panka on
That's Samuel.
In a bit of a little bit of a touring car overtake. Was there contact there, Stewie?
Yeah.
I thought there was. It was just a bit difficult from the camera to tell. Looks certainly look a bit feisty down the hangar straight coming up to Stowe. There's Vasiliev and Martin Dubon leading in AM at the minute in P9. Coming through Stowe. Obviously, as we said before, Martin Dubon doesn't need to worry too much about the cars in front of him, or behind him, beg your pardon, because he's obviously in a different class. But I'm pretty sure he'll want to try and keep Vasiliev, Ellis, Filmater, and Duretz between him and Mazalek, who about 4 or 5 seconds behind him. So, I mean, it doesn't look like he's close, but he is quite close relative to the minute. So it's probably in his interest to try and keep these cars behind.
We're gonna have a look at playoff. I think that should be Jesse in lap 2 here. Wasn't okay. I was looking for the replay of him at the start, but there might have just been many contacts for the game to recognize them all, as we see another car being slow on the track. And this is Mike Noble and Steelman fighting for 25 here, but it looks like Noble has got the better one and is now on the inside. And back into that, but Stevenson holding it on the outside and
Still there?
inside now for the last turn, still keeping it. But Noble is also not giving up it. It's not enough room to go that wide. There's still 2 right, so now will Noble try to send it turn 1. I don't think he has the overlap now, so he'll probably just stay behind. And maybe just get a better run into Maggots and Beckett's. Stevenson also looking pretty clean here, so not a chance for Mike Noble to get by at the moment. And you know what? Maybe Mike Noble is playing like a bit sketchy there, but with his livery, maybe he's doing it like a mirror, so that everybody else can see their own liveries in his car. Maybe that was his thought process here.
A camouflage. I thought you were going to go with the idea that people will be expecting Mike Noble in a Mike Noble livery car, so they see, I want to say normal looking car, but a fairly dull looking car in their wing mirror and their mirrors behind them, not thinking it's Noble, and then when it's too late, oh, they're still going at it, they're side by side again. Will Stevenson seems to know how to place his car defensively. It's a pretty good demonstration of defensive driving from Will Stevenson at the minute, Mike Noble. A few times where they've been a bit physical, but nothing too excessive, I don't think. Just a bit of door banging. That bad as we come into the arena again. Will Stevenson blocking the inside line. Mike Noble nearly trying to do a switch back, but trying to follow around the outside through there, so here's the inside line for the next corners. But I think we're back where we were the lap before, Stewie. Because if Mike Noble goes to the inside now, then we're back to where we were. Oh.
I think he's a bit too far back to send it on the inside now, but See, it looks like every second or third corner, at least one of them is doing a small drift, or even both of them at the same time. Switch to Daly here, who I think just made the pass on Miller, so maybe that. Having a better exit line here out of the last corner, and then squeezing himself on the inside. Luckily the wall is a bit away from the track there, so he could actually make that pass before coming into the next turn. And Noble still behind. I think that's Jackson, who's now also lining up in the Stevenson line. So they both want to get by. But further back we have Matt Samuel still fighting Lewin, and I think that was just the switchback. Make that pass, and Jesse just got passed by Hughes.
I think Jesse. No, I think Jesse gave him that position, to be fair. By the looks of it. But speaking of, but going to a man who probably isn't going to give his position up without a fight is Will Stevenson again with Mike Noble, and these two are holding each other up because I can see Gergo Panker, who's just behind Adam Jackson here as he tries to look at the inside of Mike Noble. So these two squabbling now is bringing Gergo into this fight.
Well, and he's out of the fight because now he has a DT.
Oh. Well, it's going to blame the game developers. Here he is just on the inside of Adam Jackson, who... Nice clean overtake actually there. And oh, Jackson's trying to have a go, have a dig at him again. And he's... Oh, Panker just gets the power down a bit, and Jackson's still there. We're coming down to the final corners. What's Jackson gonna do? Oh. Stay behind him, I guess. Yeah, Stevenson and Noble still holding each other up. I don't think there's any, unless they hold each other up for about 8 seconds, because that's how far back the next pro car is. Matt Samuel behind them, who's behind Tom Bryant, Tom Watt, who are about 5 and 3 seconds behind respectively. As Panker goes into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty.
I think Samuel got by Watts. Yep, he did. So now direct chase of Tom Bryant, and that's something we might see in the next 2 minutes. I've also seen Ted Edwards go off track last lap, but we don't have any contact of that, so can't see that, but he was yellow on the map. I think Jesse just lost another position to Yaroshenko. Did not catch that, so it already happened a bit earlier. But Jesse just going a bit backwards at the moment. It's on 7 at the moment. A bit further down than where he was in the last race, but he did have contact at the start. Said he had one. We have the fight for E10 between Silyev and Ellis. And the cars behind are just lapped cars. They're not actually fighting with them, or are they? Oh, they actually are, and that was just the 99 of Filmalter having an accident and dropping down the order. And
oh, good. Oh yeah. Well,
but again, what's weird is that he started to spin when he was already on the grass. I'm curious how these guys end up being like 1 or 2 cars on the inside in the grass. Maybe just trying to send it on someone. Here we have Martin Dubon, the AM leader, who is being chased by 4 cars at the moment. And I mean, was he there last week? Because I don't remember him being
no, he was
last week.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't this far up last week, but he has, as you say, he's got a gaggle of cars behind. He's doing really well, to be honest. where he is, but he's got a gaggle of cars. He's got Vasiliev, Ellis, Fisher, and I believe the very end of that pack is Killian Ryan Meenan. I did see a pink car.
It is, yeah.
At the very, very back of that pack. Got a bit of is that Ellis there on Fisher.
That is on Fisher indeed, and three
no,
wide.
3 wide. Oh,
The touch.
I think. Oh, I was gonna say excellent commentary, but yeah,
very close here. Just hoping that these guys hit their brakes in time, and they just barely did. And also, Stevenson got a drive-through, and see Mike Noble here. He just got it done. Not sure if Stevenson just didn't fight for it as much this time because he had the drive-through, but that is Ted Edwards off again, and it's the same exact spot as I saw him off track 2 laps ago. So let's see what happened here.
Both Magus and Beckett.
Just
lost the rear
spin.
end.
Oh.
Just KTM things. Think of
KTM
that
things. So yeah, Mike Noble finally passed Stevenson,
on the final lap now.
and that is the final lap that we're on right now. Severt still leading, followed by Marius and then Chumley and Verstappen. Another yellow flag with 8 and 78. And Jesse got involved in that as well. 57 is Jesse, right?
Yeah, but that's a little love tap that was.
So just going. Get a bump here from behind.
Just a little bump from Gergo Pankert.
Car behind didn't appreciate the slow speed through that corner, I guess.
I think Gergo's made his way past Jesse Lee.
Yeah, he should have. And this is the 78 and the 228. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, that's actually...
Oh!
Weirdly enough, that was the same replay, even though it told me it's a different one. Either way, back to the fight for... I think that's for P22. That's Adrian, Noble and Jackson, as Masalek just dropped quite a few positions, and I think he had just lost it on his own because he wasn't near anyone. And actually, no, he was just slow into T1, and then the car behind didn't anticipate that and just spun him around a bit, but he should still be very safely on the M class. And have a quick look at our leader here. And is that a Ted crawling towards the finish line? Might just not want to do another lap and is just waiting for the leader.
It's off the racing line. But they should have a little white flag to tell them.
Yeah, this is Severt winning this race, overtaking Marius in first or second lap already, and then just staying there. And that was very close to Ted, I think.
The leader has finished the race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ted, off goes Ted. Yep, there you go.
Waiting, Verstappen this time made it to the end of the race. We have Ryan Meenan still tried to get by Vasiliev throughout this lap, but couldn't quite manage to do it.
That's done quite well though, Stewie. Started from the back again, didn't he? He's up to P10.
Did he? Oh, he did, you're right. So, yeah, Ryan Meenan quite far up, and I think pretty far ahead of the other drivers that start from the back, isn't he? Not sure about Daly. Didn't Daly start from the back?
Daly started from the back as well, yeah. So Daly's done very well as well. Finished P12.
And Jaakko Torvinen, who also started from the back, I think. McNoble, obviously involved in some here and there. We have a fight going on here between Ethan Scott and
The number 10.
or Martin van der Zwaan. 10, so it's van der Zwaan. So Ethan Scott did not get by, but it was also not for position, so not a big deal. We have Lewin and Henker, who just crashed across the finish line. And then in the back we have Patrick Fitzpatrick, who's chasing Humphreys, and had to brake there on the apex not hit Humphreys. And did Humphreys just get the DT, or did I miss that before?
I think he had that DT at the start, near the start of his last lap. So I don't think you just missed it, but I think because he's like near the bottom of the tower, we can't see it because we're focusing on the leaders.
So let's have a look at the final standings. In silver, we have Rob Franken, Robertson, and Miller. We have Jackson, Ellis, Boetia, Franken, Robertson, Miller. So we have different top threes in both of these races. Then in M, race 2, we have Dubon, Marsalek, and Watts. And Watts and Dubon did really well today. They gained a lot of points for the championship. And overall, it's just the same three drivers, but in... So, race 2. I do think it was a bit cleaner than race 1, right?
Yeah, I think it's, apart from like the first 2 laps, which is to be expected. The racing was certainly a bit more cleaner and a lot more fun to watch than the first one. But yeah, probably just a few people not used to these cars and this inherent oversteer, understeer nature, which saw probably a few drivers take
I think
of,
almost
of
all of the drivers we've...
liberties with the track limit.
Yeah, I think we've actually seen every driver drift a bit, except, I mean, the first three might have done that as well, but we just never really watched them because they weren't really fighting with each other and there was so much else going on. But yeah, definitely a lot of struggling there with this car. And yeah, I'm what was the next race? The next race was in Monza, right?
Bonza with the BMW GT4s. So the new BMW's little brother, the M4 GT4. I don't know if it's raining or not. I'm pretty sure it's not because driving that car in the wet is incredibly painful. But yeah, so Bonza, I need long straights. BMW loves long straights. Probably the second fastest car in a straight line, I'd say.
I
If you
I
don't
think
count the AMG.
I think the BMW and Monza was like one of the only track combinations I actually did with the GT4s because you could just eat over all the curbs and the car just didn't care. That was fun when they came out. Yeah, next week we're gonna have a 40-minute race instead of shorter ones. Hopefully with just as many drivers as today, maybe more. It's possible that some people were still caught up in some holiday stuff or preparing for New Year's Eve, and that's why we're a bit less today. But yeah, next week, Monza and turn 1. Hey, gonna be one
It'll be
interesting
fun.
thing to see.
It's gonna be fun, Stewie. We're gonna have a prediction. We're gonna have to sit down over the next week and think about how many cars are gonna die at turn 1.
A lot.
I need a number, not a lot. You have a week to think about it, Stewie.
All right, and with that, I think I can quickly do the sponsor thing, and you can see them at the bottom of the screen. You actually can't at the moment, but you will see them to go to the end screen. AK Informatica, hosting servers for us. Driver 61, where you get some nice driver coaching. Race department, where you get a lot of information about all kinds of sims and downloads and mods, skins, all of that fancy stuff. Fan attack, sim racing gear, or let's say a bit more than entry level to mid to high end. Then sim racing GP, where you can create your own community and host. And with that, I guess we say have a good New Year's Eve, and what's the day after that called?
New Year's Day.
Just New Year's Day. and we will see you.
See you next year at Monza. Yes.
Next year.
Yeah, next year.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.